All right, got a fresh cut on the beard as well, keeping it well trimmed. Went with a skin fade today, and then went and got a mocha. Gotta treat yourself every once in a while. And we got the Airbnb guests all hooked up. They're comfortable, they're fed, they're already set up. There's a lot of them too, but happy to be able to provide a service, especially it's raining right now, so especially their plans fell through, so happy to be of service to others and make a profit. As you can see, I'm wearing an Alaska shirt. I was up in Fairbanks. This would have been several years ago, so we're talking around my birthday, 2021. And I remember that specifically because, well, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. And Alaska was great. If you've never been, if you're really into just hearing the sound of the snow crunch under your feet, it's just to hear, just to really be one in nature. It's like a Thoreau moment, like a Walden Pond type deal. It's incredible. At any rate, after I got back from Alaska, it was the following month, I had a conference in Vegas. And then the person who I thought I was going to share my life with and all these plans and blah, blah, blah. Well, she had already monkey branched and was going to stay with her husband because she was married. It's calling for what it is. She's married. And I was the other guy. And I was devastated. And this, of course, is a challenge for anybody who's in a polyamorous relationship. Unless it's approved by all of the parties, and all the parties are on board with, the wife fucking somebody else and then the husband fucking somebody else. Unless everybody's on board, it's a very, very challenging situation. Not only for the husband and the wife, who's ever the party that's the cheater, or if even they're both cheating, but also what's really forgotten is the person. In my case, usually it's, especially when we think about it, and probably true, it's the husband banging some other chick and telling her, hey, honey, don't worry, I'm going to leave the wife as soon as the kid turns 18, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have all of that, but something similar. We didn't have to wait for our kid to turn 18 or anything. He was already an adult at that time. But a lot of times people, those people are forgotten. The other people in a relationship, in a polyamorous relationship, are in a situation where people are cheating. And it's more than just, a physical. There's emotions involved. And when emotions involved, man, we just fall apart. And I'm going to share a couple pieces. I was going to talk about one thing, but we'll just it's my channel, so if you want to watch it, don't watch it, watch it. I had just finished reading for, the 10th time, The Homeric Works, getting ready for Christopher Nolan's movie coming out of the Odyssey. I'm super excited. Matt Damon. Anyway, super excited about the film. So rereading it, and I love the Homeric Works. It's the first book of Western civilization that we have that's basically intact that we know of. And a lot of times people don't realize as far as what happened to Helen. So Helen, the face that launched 1,000 ships, she got with Paris. For those who may not be really familiar with the story, she gets with Paris, who's a Trojan prince, son of Priam, brother of Hector. And they do their thing, and then Helen runs away with Paris. Okay. And so then the Trojan War happens. And the Trojan War is for 10 years. And not only Troy and they're called the Achaeans, basically the Greeks. So all the Greek states, the Trojans, and they have various allies in the area in present-day Turkey, coming to fight in the fray. So after the loss of Troy, after the Trojans lose the war, Priam is killed. I can't remember, I think it's Penelope. I can't remember the name of the wife, the mother of Paris. She's killed. Cassandra, no, the queen and so Priam is killed. The queen and Cassandra, who's Hector and Paris' sister, who can, prophesize things, they're sold into slavery. Another sister who Achilles really loved, she's killed at his altar at Achilles' grave. So she's sacrificed to join him in the underworld. And then all the Trojans who don't get killed in the war are sold off into slavery. So what happens to Helen? She goes back, so her husband Menelaus, to his credit, good on him, starts his 10-year war to get his wife back. And she goes back to him. And so they go back, and even in the Odyssey, it's talked about how Ulysses stops by Sparta, and then, if I recall correctly, it goes and basically welcomes Ulysses in. So she goes back to her husband. Thousands of people, tens of thousands of people killed. People sold into slavery. A beautiful city, the beautiful city of Troy, is burnt to ashes. And she just goes back to Menelaus, forgive me. This is, if you, and this is for the gents, I'm sorry, ladies. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're the other guy, and you're fighting hard for this chick, spoiler alert, don't. And this is not my own personal bias, possibly a little bit, taking that into account. But really, from the first book, and the first story of Western civilization is a chick who leaves her husband for a younger guy, causes all kinds of issues, basically asks for forgiveness, gets it, and it's like, well, fuck the other, fuck the magnificent city of Troy that's smoldering, and all the Greeks who died, and Menelaus, forgive me. The big thing, gents, is don't fight that hard, because you want to find a chick in your life who's going to fully 100% support you and make time for you. Okay? And if she's not making time for you, she's got the time. She's got the time. And it took me a while to realize that. My situation, the one I was with, she had plenty of time. She had plenty of time to put together all the stuff to go to court, but to have 5 minutes with her in a parking lot was like this big, drawn out, planned out thing that sometimes might happen, sometimes might not happen, might or might not happen. Choose wisely, gents, because you don't want to be Paris, who's watching his city smolder. Well, actually, he's dead, so before he dies, he's watching his city smolder, gets his father killed, gets his mother and sister sold into slavery, gets his other sister sacrificed at the altar of his enemy, okay? All because he couldn't think of anything other than his dick. And then it started out with his dick, and then ended up his emotions just folded over, and he's like, I gotta do this. And it leads to destruction. So do not be Paris. Be Hector. Have that be that Prince of Horse mindset, and ultimately have dominion over yourself and have control. Because that's a sign of a strong man. When he can control his appetite, he can control his tongue, he can control his dick. Now, at the same time, trust me, I struggle with these things constantly within me as a Christian, as a man, as somebody who's been through trauma, as somebody who's trying to be his best self. Sometimes these things, they war with each other. Ensure you're on the winning side.